I was paying a bank to hold my money and getting almost nothing back. So, naturally, I switched, and in 1 year, I went from earning $1 in interest to earning over $50 while paying zero fees. With RBC, I'd spend about $50 a year on the fees alone. If you're still banking with one of the big fives, this might hurt because I had no idea how much I was losing until I left RBC. Alright, today I want to share something a bit more personal. My banking story. For years, I was with RBC like most Canadians. It was my default setup. Checking, saving, credit card, all under one roof. It was fine until I realized something. I was paying a bank to hold my own money and getting almost nothing back. Even though I was only paying $4 a month, okay, that's still $48 a year for a basic account with no perks, no rewards, and saving interest that might as well be zero. So earlier this year, I finally decided to make a change. I moved everything over to Equitable Bank. And after using it for a few months, I can honestly say that it's one of the best financial decisions I've made. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly why I left RBC, what makes EQ different, how much I've gained, and whether it's worth it. Let's start with this. RBC is solid. Their app works great, their customer service is pretty amazing, and you can find an ATM on pretty much every street corner. But after years with them, I realized something incredibly frustrating. I was losing money to a system that rewards loyalty with absolutely nothing. Even with the lowest tier RBC account, in my case $4 a month, I was getting something like 0.01% interest on my savings. Literally $1 a year per $10,000. And transaction limits that could still trigger extra fees, like only 10 bill payments a month. And almost no benefits to keeping my money parked there, really. So between account fees and lost interest, I was basically paying a big bank to do their bare minimum. And that's what pushed me to look at Equitable Bank, a Canadian digital bank that doesn't charge monthly fees and actually pays real competitive interest. The first thing that stood out was the interest rate. As of right now, Equitable Bank pays a base rate of 0.75% on their personal and joint accounts, as well as the EQ card balance. And if you set up a qualifying direct deposit of $2,000 or more per month, you get an extra 2% bonus, bringing you to a total of 2.75% interest on every dollar you hold. And that's not a limited time promo, it's their everyday rate. Compare that to RBC's 0.01%, and the difference is really massive. You're actually rewarded for saving instead of being charged for it. And that was the moment I decided to make the jump. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been surprisingly smooth ever since. Anyways, let me tell you about EQ. Equitable Bank is completely digital, but it's still a real regulated bank. It's owned by the Equitable Bank, and deposits are CDIC-insured up to $100,000. Everything happens through the app or the website, and it's genuinely one of the cleanest, simplest interfaces I've used. What you can do is pay bills, send unlimited free intra transfers, set up direct deposit for your paycheck, transfer money to and from other banks, track your balance and interest growth daily. And what I love is the personal account acts as both checking and saving account. So every dollar you keep in your checking account still earns interest, and it's fully spendable for bills and daily use. There is no juggling between two accounts, transferring money back and forth. No minimum balance shenanigans. Just one very clean account that essentially does everything. Let's talk about the fees. This is where EQ really shines. They don't charge you for basic banking. You get no monthly account fees, no minimum balance requirements, free bill payments, unlimited free e-transfers, as well as free internal transfer between EQ accounts. The only fees you might ever run into are for foreign cash withdrawals, or things like paper drafts. And even those are pretty rare, I would say. So, look, instead of paying RBC $4, I know it's not a lot, but $4 every month for accessing my own money and using it, I now pay $0, and my balance earns 2.75% with interest added up every single day and paid monthly. Come on, it's a tough comparison. Anyways, let's put some numbers to this, just to paint a better picture. So if you keep $10,000 in your account, with RBC at 0.01%, you're going to be earning $1 a year. Subtract your $48 in annual fees for the cheapest account, and you're actually losing $47 a year. With Equitable Bank, you would earn about $275 a year with no fees, over $300 in difference just from switching where your money sits. And if you've got more saved, like $20,000 or $30,000, that difference easily turns into hundreds more in every single year. Of course, you're probably better off keeping your money invested with Wealthsimple, for example, instead of sitting in a bank account. But I realize there are times when you need money, in your savings account for a big purchase coming up or your emergency fund, for example. So, makes sense. Anyways, let's talk about the EQ Bank card. So, this EQ Bank card, which makes EQ feel like a complete everyday banking setup. It's a prepaid MasterCard connected directly to your EQ balance. You can use it like a debit card, literally anywhere MasterCard is accepted. In Canada, online or abroad. And it comes with a few pretty great perks, in my opinion. The biggest one, I would say, especially abroad, is the no foreign transaction fees. If you're doing a lot of shopping or traveling in US dollars, it's worth it. As well as a cashback, which is usually 0.5 to 1% depending on the current promo. And I should mention it also works with Apple Pay and Google Pay. So it also has free ATM withdrawals in Canada. And here's the best part. If the ATM operator actually charges you a fee, annoying, EQ will actually automatically reimburse you within a couple days. So in my opinion, that makes access completely free while you're in Canada. You can literally walk up to almost any ATM and not worry about paying a cent in fees. I would say that's pretty good. Anyways, I thought moving away from a traditional bank might be a big hassle. But honestly, EQ has been just as convenient. The app and website are pretty fast. Transfers to and from other banks take a couple days, that's pretty standard, and setting up direct deposit is incredibly effortless. You can link EQ to Wealthsimple, Questrade, any other investment platform very easily. So if RBC Trade is keeping you or CIBC Trade, it's pretty quick to switch over. And honestly, I realized I hadn't been inside an RBC branch in literally years. Everything is digital now anyways, and EQ just makes it easier. Of course, let me tell you, EQ is not perfect. And here's what you should know. A big one, as I mentioned a couple times, there's no physical branches. So if you love in-person service, chatting with someone face-to-face, that's not an option here. Another thing is there are no credit cards or mortgages directly, though their parent, Equitable Bank, does offer mortgage services. And as I mentioned, customer service is phone and chat-based, so it's pretty responsive and great, but it's not face-to-face. So if you prefer that, it's probably not the best choice. And that's really it. For most Canadians who already bank online, those aren't deal breakers anymore. I mean, I don't remember the last time I've been to the branch. So far, after several months with EQ, here's what I've noticed and what I'm happy with, I would say. I am earning some real interest every month. I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off. I also have paid 0 fees, which is awesome. My e-transfers, my bill payments are super reliable. The app is pretty good. I would say it's modern, clean, and does everything I need it to. It's very simple, very efficient, and fair. Exactly how banking should be, in my opinion. So, to summarize, EQ Bank is what Canadian banking should be, in my mind. It's transparent, digital, and actually pays you for keeping your money with them. That's how it should be, I think. Anyways, no gimmicks, no hidden management fees, and no 0.01 savings accounts pretending to help you save for the future. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. RBC and really most of the big banks represent the old system with branches, very low interest, and monthly fees. EQ represents something else. Simple, high interest, fee-free banking that actually rewards you for keeping your money with them. If you're comfortable doing everything online, I would say EQ is one of the easiest money upgrades you can make this year. And of course, this isn't financial advice. Always check the latest rates and make sure the setup fits your lifestyle. Anyways, don't want to bore you, let's conclude this. So if you enjoyed this review, please subscribe. It tells YouTube that my content is at least somewhat watchable, which I'll probably take as a win. And give this video a like, drop a comment if you've switched to EQ Bank or are thinking about it, as well as if you have any questions. And tell me how your experience compares to RBC or any of the big banks. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.